welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And today, since it is February, we're going to be talking about romantic traditions around the world. The world of love. What are people doing around the world to celebrate and to show their romance, their love for another person? Of course, in the month of February, what do we think of?
Valentine's Day.
There you go. Some people call it the most romantic day of the year.
Yes.
February 14th is Valentine's Day. But even though that might be the most famous romantic tradition, it is not by far the only romantic tradition. In fact, you don't have to go far. Here in Taiwan, we have 2 Valentine's Days, don't we?
Oh yeah, there's another one. I think is it in March?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
I don't
think it's
know
later
either.
In the year. I think it's more like July or August or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, but that's another one. It's similar, but not quite the same. And of course, as you travel to further distant countries, you will find further romantic traditions. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a tour of the world in love.
In love.
Let's check it out. We'll find some romantic traditions. You can all start saving your money for more chocolates and flowers and cards.
Fuzzy teddy bears.
And expensive dinners and stuff
Roses.
like that. But hey, maybe we'll find a romantic tradition that doesn't cost an arm and a leg.
I'm sure.
Maybe some
we will.
people celebrate love without spending all that money on
that happens.
chocolate and roses. We'll find out. So let's check out the article.
February 14th is St. Valentine's Day. In the United States, it's a day to honor your beloved with gifts of chocolate, flowers, or Valentine's cards. However, other countries have more complicated traditions. In Japan, for instance, women give men chocolate on St. Valentine's Day, but the men only return the gesture on March 14th by gifting women white chocolate or other white items.
All right, so yeah, we're going to be looking at romantic traditions around the world today. So let's talk about that super important word when talking about Valentine's Day and stuff. Romantic. Anything romantic has to do with romance or love. Now, this is love usually between 2 people, not a family love, not like how you love your friends or your mom or your cousins or your brother and sister. No, this is more like the love you have for a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, partner, that kind of love. The Valentine's Day kind of love, not the sort of family kind of love that you have. So anything could be romantic, and everyone has different ideas. Giving someone flowers, having dinner with candles, in a nice restaurant, walking on the beach at sunset, holding hands with that special person you love. That could be romantic. So whatever gives you a feeling of love and the feeling of romance, we would use the adjective romantic. They had a romantic evening together, maybe out at a nice restaurant with candles and dinner, maybe just sitting at home killing aliens in their favorite video game because they're an interesting couple, and that's romantic for them. It's really up to you.
Let's talk about the history of Valentine's Day.
Okay.
February 14th is St. Valentine's Day. In the United States, it's a day to honor your beloved with gifts of chocolate, flowers, or Valentine's cards. However, other countries have more complicated traditions and maybe also more interesting.
Well, definitely more interesting because we don't know of them so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it could be complicated as well. It's not too complicated to celebrate Valentine's Day in America, as we know. Get some flowers, some chocolate, a nice card, write I love you in it, give it to someone, job done. So that's pretty simple. Simple would be the opposite of complicated. Complicated is difficult. There's a lot of different parts in there.
It's hard.
It'll take a long time to learn about it all. If you're doing the kind of math that they teach in university, that would be quite complicated compared to the math you learn in grade 2, which will be quite simple. All right? So if something is difficult, not necessarily impossible or too hard, but definitely not easy, definitely challenging, you could describe it as being complicated. For example, Peter found the math problem too complicated, so he asked the teacher for help. I know there's an X and a Y and a Z, but what's this circle with a line through the middle? I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
Too complicated.
Too complicated.
All right, so what do they do in different parts of the world? Well, let's go not too far from here, Japan. In Japan, it says, for instance, women give men chocolate on St. Valentine's Day. That's not complicated, but it's definitely different. But the men only return the gesture on March 14th by gifting women white chocolate or other white items.
So they have to wait 1 month to return the gesture to each other.
Yeah, and it's also interesting that the gifts are white, because often if there's a color for Valentine's Day, it would be red.
Yeah, red or pink. A gesture is an action. Okay, it could be like I'm giving you something nice. Is it as a gesture to show for something? It's an action. A gesture can also be a motion, like, oh, here, this is for you. This is also a gesture. A motion with your hands to indicate a certain purpose, or it could be an action for a certain purpose. Offering her last chocolate to her friend, here you go, was a kind gesture. It's an offering to show her love.
There you go. If you hold the door for someone,
that's
or
nice. It's
offer
a must.
an old person a seat on the bus, you know, that kind of thing. A kind action or kind gesture. That's an interesting thing that they do there in Japan.
Yeah, it takes 1 month.
Right, okay. And I guess a lot of white chocolate is suddenly very popular.
It is, it is.
Do you like white chocolate?
Not particularly.
A lot of people don't, so that's interesting. All right, well, there you go. If you miss Valentine's Day in Japan, you have another month to grab another chance to celebrate it. Let's take a break and then we'll be back.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是 Romantic Traditions Around the World， 世界各地的浪漫传统。那来看到 romantic， 它就是形容浪漫的、爱情的。那它的相关词性 romance 则可以用来表达爱情故事或是恋情。好，那大家都知道2月14日是西洋情人节，在美国人们会准备巧克力啊、鲜花、情人节卡片等等的礼物来送给心爱的人，这些东西都蛮常见的。不过在其他一些国家有着更复杂的传统哦，像在日本，女生会在西洋情人节送男生巧克力，男生则是在3月14日送女生白巧克力或是其他白色物品来回礼。好，看到单字 complicated， 它就是形容复杂的。Mike 老师在讲解时，他用到 challenging， 就是 challenge 后面去一加 ing，challenging 可以形容有难度的、具有挑战性的。下一个单字 gesture， 在这边当名词，表示姿态、表示或是示意动作或是姿势。那接华课文中。
Moreover, not every country celebrates romance on the same day. In Wales, the patron saint of love is Saint Dwynwen, a 5th century princess, and her date of celebration is January 25th. On this day, a man gifts his beloved a hand-carved wooden spoon. This is a lovely tradition. It dates back to when Welsh sailors would carve wooden spoons at sea to give to their sweethearts back home. In Slovenia, romantic love is celebrated on March 12th, or St. Gregory's Day. February 14th, on the other hand, represents the start of the farming season. Slovenians enjoy working in the fields on this day. Love is celebrated on different days and in different ways around the world. However, always remember to celebrate your loved ones throughout the year, not just when it's traditional to do so.
All right, we are back. So we just found out about Japanese Valentine's Day. Well, I guess we could just call it Japanese Love Day or something. It's in March. Women give men stuff in February. Men give women white things in March. So that's how they do it in Japan. It's kind of a two-part situation. Let's move on. Moreover, it says, not every country celebrates romance on the same day. Yeah, sure. Valentine's Day, February 14th, is very common all around the world. but other countries have their own traditions. I mean, here in Taiwan, right? We have our own one in July. Let's go to Wales. Now, Wales is a small country that's part of Great Britain, the United Kingdom. It's just over to the west of England. It says, in Wales, the patron saint of love is Saint Dwynwen, a 5th century princess, and her date of celebration is January 25th.
Interesting.
So about 3 weeks before normal Valentine's Day. On this day, what happens in Wales? On this day, a man gives his beloved a hand-carved wooden spoon.
Well, that takes a lot of time and effort.
The men aren't carving the spoon. I think they're buying the spoon.
Oh, I thought they're carving the
I
spoon.
don't think most Welsh men can carve spoons any better than I can. And I can't carve a spoon.
And to carve means you actually have to make it with maybe a knife or something. You got to take a big piece of wood, got to get out a knife, and then you have to make it into the shape of the spoon by cutting it into a specific shape. So you can carve out, and you have to be like pretty good at it. It's very artistic. Carving is difficult. Julia carved her name into the tree. Maybe that doesn't take as much skill, but if you're carving a spoon, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, I guess back in the old days,
I think
people
they did, yeah.
carved more,
Yeah.
but now things are made in factories or made with plastic. We don't have to sort of design and cut objects from wood or other things. So I'm not sure about that, but hey, it would be nice to have a nice carved wooden spoon, right?
This is a lovely tradition. It dates back to when Welsh sailors would carve wooden spoons at sea to give to their sweethearts back home. Because they missed them and they had nothing to do, so they would be carving for their love. In Slovenia, romantic love is celebrated on March 12th, or St. Gregory's Day.
All right, well, that's not too far from that Japanese day that's in March, but of course, it's about a month after Valentine's Day. But the interesting connection there is Valentine was also a saint. So you can actually say Saint Valentine's Day, but
That's
for
right.
Slovenians, Valentine is not the romantic saint. Gregory is the romantic saint. All right, February 14th, Valentine's Day, on the other hand, represents the start of the farming season. Oh, so on Valentine's Day, which should be about love, Slovenians are too busy getting their farms going for the new spring season. I guess there's no time for love. We got to plant the seed and, till the fields and that kind of thing. Slovenians enjoy working in the fields on this day. And you're down there, you're planting the seeds, you're mucking out the pigs, and some handsome guy comes along and gives you chocolate and flowers. You're like, I'm busy here. Save this until March when the flowers and the crops are already growing a little bit. I guess that's why. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, it represents something. To represent something is basically to show in another way. When we use symbols, when we use signs, when we use colors, we are representing things. You could also talk about a drawing as representing something. If I draw a picture of an elephant, that's not a real elephant, but it represents an elephant. It takes the place of a thing that is not or cannot be there. For example, the color red usually represents anger, but a lot of this is cultural because in Taiwan, the color red can represent good luck or something like that. So often when we represent things, we have to understand the culture that they come from.
Love is celebrated on different days and in different ways around the world. However, always remember to celebrate your loved ones throughout the year, not just when it's traditional to do so. Every day is Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's kind of more special when your Valentine's Day is, I don't know, October 9th. Or something like that. But of course, it's nice to do something on these special days as well. So what do you think? Here's our question. Have you ever done something romantic? And what did you do?
One time I spent 8 hours cooking a Spanish paella.
Wow.
From scratch.
Okay.
So this is a Spanish seafood rice dish.
Yep.
and it was an incredible day. It was a lot of hard work, and it was gone in 10 minutes.
Oh, well, that's often what happens with good cooking, is it takes you much longer to prepare it than it takes to enjoy it. But that means it was tasty. It was delicious.
It was.
So there you go. That's a pretty romantic thing to do. How about you guys? What's the most romantic thing you've done? Or maybe you're planning to do something romantic this year. Talk about it, but don't tell the person
don't tell them.
You're planning it
It's
for.
a secret.
Don't tell them. Tell everyone else, but tell them to keep it a secret. Well, to see you soon, guys. Lots of love. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you back here soon.
Bye.
Until then, bye-bye.
并不是每个国家都在同一天庆祝恋情。课文就提到说，在威尔斯，爱情的守护圣者是5世纪的公主圣德温。那她的庆祝日期是1月25日，在这一天，男生就会送心爱的人一把手工雕刻的木勺。那在斯洛维尼亚，人们则是在3月12日庆祝。斯洛维尼亚人反而喜欢在2月14日这一天到田里工作，因为这天代表着农耕季节的开始。好，单字 carve 它表示雕刻或是刻凿。那么复合形容词 hand carved 它是描述手工雕刻的。再看到 represent 这个动词，它表示象征、代表或是意味着。在讲到耕田的时候 ，Mike 老师用到 till 这个动词 ，T-I-L-L， till 就可以表达耕田、犁田这个耕或是犁的动作。还有提到 muck out，muck 是拼作 M-U-C-K， 那 muck out 表示打扫牲畜的住的地方。好，那么课文最后写到说，世界各地在不同的日子用不同方式庆祝爱情，不过要永远记住。一年到头都应该庆祝，天天都是情人节，不要只是在传统节日才这么做哦。那这边用到2个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是部分否定的用法。否定词 not， 它跟 every 或是 all 等等的字连用时，可以表达部分否定。那么意思是，并不是每一个怎么样怎么样，并不是全部都怎么样怎么样。那么注意 ，not every 加名词搭配的是单数动词 ，not all 加名词则是搭配复数动词。举例来说 ，Not all people love chocolate， 并非所有人都喜爱巧克力。好，那第二重点是 remember， 它表示记得，那么后面可以接不定词 to be 或者是动名词 VING， 可是意思不一样哦。Remember to 加动词表示记得去做某事 ，remember 动词 ing 则是表达记得做过某事。举例来说 ，Please remember to close the door before leaving。离开前请记得关门。I remember closing the door before leaving。我记得我离开前有关门。好，那延伸学习是接不定词 to be 和动名词 VING 意思不同的动词，其实还有 forget 和 stop。那当我们用 forget to 加动词，是表达忘记去做某事。forget 动词 ing 表示忘记做过某事。像 I forgot to pay my phone bill， 我忘了缴电话费，没有做到这件事。那么再看到 stop to 加动词，表示停止、停下正在做的事情来做另一件事，而 stop 加动词 ing 则是停下正在做的事。举例来说 ，Can you please stop complaining？ 可以请你不要再抱怨了吗？停止你正在做的抱怨的这件事。好，那以上是这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
February 14th is St. Valentine's Day. In the United States, it's a day to honor your beloved with gifts of chocolate, flowers, or Valentine's cards. However, other countries have more complicated traditions. In Japan, for instance, women give men chocolate on St. Valentine's Day, but the men only return the gesture on March 14th by gifting women white chocolate or other white items. Moreover, not every country celebrates romance on the same day. In Wales, the patron saint of love is Saint Dwynwen, a 5th century princess, and her date of celebration is January 25th. On this day, a man gifts his beloved a hand-carved wooden spoon. This is a lovely tradition. It dates back to when Welsh sailors would carve wooden spoons at sea to give to their sweethearts back home. In Slovenia, romantic love is celebrated on March 12th, or St. Gregory's Day. February 14th, on the other hand, represents the start of the farming season. Slovenians enjoy working in the fields on this day. Love is celebrated on different days and in different ways around the world. However, always remember to celebrate your loved ones throughout the year, not just when it's traditional to do so.
Here's how to play. The host will be holding 3 cards. Each card will have 2 sentences containing a secret vocabulary word or phrase that has been replaced by the word bear. The host will read the sentences out loud for the contestants to guess. Whoever guesses first gets a point. The person with the most points wins. And you can play along too.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen.
I'm Winnie.
And I'm Matt.
We're gonna play Guess the Bear. All right, you guys ready?
So ready.
All right, this is a noun. Okay, number 1, most people are scared of spiders and bears. Number 2, some bears catch food by curling around them.
Insects? Bugs?
Most people are scared of
Worms.
spiders and bears.
Snakes.
There you go. Okay, so number 1, most people are scared of spiders and snakes. Number 2, some snakes catch food by curling around them. I thought curling around them would be obvious. Okay, the second one, this is a verb. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, number 1, hi, I'm Brad. I don't believe we've bared. Okay, number 2, Sarah plans to bear her friends at the town square.
Meet.
It's actually meet, present tense. But since you said it first and you said the past tense, I still consider that Winnie won. It was like, met me.
So meet's a longer word to say.
Okay.
But Winnie gets that one.
One
Okay, so
letter.
it's meet. Okay, so number 1, hi, I'm Brad. I don't believe we've met. Number 2, Sarah plans to meet her friends at the town square. Okay, all right, this is a tiebreaker, okay? You guys ready for this? This is a phrase, 2 words. Number 1, the train ride will take bear, so make yourself comfortable. Number 2, you've been on the phone for bear. Is everything okay?
Long time.
Nope.
It's 2 words. A while.
There you go. Matt gets it with a little bit of uncertainty, but he gets it nonetheless. Number 1, the train ride will take a while, so make yourself comfortable. And number 2, you've been on the phone for a while. Is everything okay? So the winner today is Matt!
I will say that was very impressive.
Yeah, that was impressive. You were like, long time?